You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From Los Angeles, California, and Maria Menounos, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. Spotlight On is a long-form interview series featuring actors and TV personalities. And now, from the world's number one TV after-show platform, this is AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On.
Hey there, AfterBuzzers. How are you? I'm Matt Lieberman. Welcome to a very special edition of AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On, featuring the very talented and very beautiful Alyssa Sutherland of Vikings. Welcome.
Hi.
Yeah, say hello. It's safe. The water's warm.
The water's very warm. I tested it.
I know. Well, it's like it's pouring like
it is pouring.
A damn devil outside.
Pouring outside, and I dunked my shoes in like a river of water as I got out of my car.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I feel like they'll heal the shoes.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah. I actually got them with some leftover per diems on Vikings.
On Vikings?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
I probably shouldn't.
No, get it, girl. You got to leverage what you got.
Telling people about that. Yeah, I got per diems. I was wise with my per diems. I ended up buying myself a pair of shoes.
There you go.
With some leftover per diems. Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So congratulations on the return of season 2 last night. Great ratings and a great episode.
Yeah, we just got the ratings in. 3.6 million,
yeah,
I think.
And I think 1.7 in the demo, 1.7 in 18 to 49. We could get technical, but we don't have to.
Let's not get technical because
agree.
I don't really know that much about it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Good. So, Princess Aslaug. Auslaug. I have to do my best with the accents. They range from like everybody across the cast. Some are like very dialed in, and then some like I'm a huge Donal Logue fan.
Oh, he's got a strong one, right?
I know.
He sort of charges in there with it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got like the perfect beard. Like he's very much a king.
Yeah.
As soon as he enters the show, like you saw Gabriel Byrne in the first half of the season.
Yep.
Before he was killed off, he looked bedraggled. He was very much an earl. He was of traditional like Viking culture, I felt.
Yep.
And then we've got this king who's groomed. He's like the metrosexual Viking.
Metrosexual
Not
Viking.
quite, but like it's too groomed, man.
Too groomed?
Yeah.
He's got long scraggly hair and a huge beard.
But
what is groomed about that?
Donal Logue always has that. It's the beard is shaped. You look at it.
The beard is shaped?
Yeah. Look at it again.
Okay,
Maybe I'm judging.
I worked with him for the whole season, so
Okay. That's how it comes off on camera. The camera adds an inch of beard.
All right. Maybe it's the cloaks and the costuming that
I think you're right.
It's all put together.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So Aslaug, we met her at the end of the first season.
Yep.
And I loved your entrance because we've been with these guys through the whole season, and they've been trekking around. Finally, they're on this mission for King Horik, and you're bathing alone in this pool, and it's a very beautiful sequence. But with these two guys perving on you, the poor. I miss poor One Eye.
I know. Yeah, but he's the nicest guy in real life.
Is he?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Tig Murphy, he's just awesome because when I came in for the end of season 1 and I was there, a lot of my scenes, Tig and Bob, who plays Torsten, who was the other guy spying on me, Tig and Bob were a part of most of the scenes that I was in, and they were just so lovely and welcoming. But definitely got to give Tig a shout out because he's no longer with us.
Well, I for a second there, I thought that Floki was dead too, and I'm like, Floki's the best. You can't kill Floki.
They got you.
I know. Well,
it worked.
It just shows how easily I'm duped. And how much I've come to care.
How much you care about them. That's what it really shows. That's what's awesome about it.
Yeah. There's an immediate attachment. I think one of the wonderful things about this show and about these characters is that since it is further in our history, they are more primal. And then I feel like at times kind of our attachment to them is a bit more primal. There's less said and more felt.
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting take on it. I didn't think about it that way. I always sort of thought, because we really explore their relationships, that's one of the reasons why we care about them so much. Especially that sort of initial family unit, because you see them as a family and you see really lovely, tender moments between them all as a family. I think that kind of adds to it as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of love there, and it took a lot of pressure for Ragnar to step out of that and and make this move to sleep with you, to impregnate you. I feel like it kind of divided fans at the end of the season. Did you get any backlash when the episode aired? Were people upset?
Yeah. I have a rule that I don't read comments on forms of social media. I will respond to some fans. I was live tweeting the episode last night, and I will certainly respond to fans that sort of there and asking me questions. But I refuse to go onto like the show's Facebook page or their.
That's dangerous.
It is dangerous because people felt very strongly about how they felt very strongly about my character when she showed up. I didn't realize that's that was going to happen. I think
you
when
didn't?
I filmed it, not really, because
you're sleeping with the main character. How can you not know? This is the 21st century.
They were Vikings,
and we're not.
And in the first episode, the very first episode of season 1, Lagertha says to Ragnar, "Don't sleep with too many women in Kattegat."
Within like the first 5 minutes of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was put out there right in the beginning. So I sort of thought, okay, well, they're Vikings. These men were sleeping around. This is what they were doing. There were instances of polygamy.
Yeah.
And the fans didn't feel that way.
I guess so.
I know. I was really surprised.
Well, I mean, they feel protective. Ragnar...
They do. That's the really cool thing, is that they're so invested in those characters. It's really awesome to actually be a part of a show that the fans get so worked up about everyone. And that's why they watch, and that's, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, coming in at the end of the first season, were you told that, this part was going to become something bigger? Did they give you any idea of what the second season would hold for you?
Yeah, they didn't give me any idea of storylines that much when I came in. But yes, I did know that if we were to be renewed, I would be a part of the second season in a series.
And a regular,
Yeah, I did know that. So I think I was probably waiting and in the most suspense for the series to be renewed for a second season, because everyone else was, they'd had their full season of work and
except
being
Gabriel
in this
Byrne.
World. Okay, he's Gabriel Byrne.
I know.
This is the first thing I've really done.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I know.
Okay, just wanted to clear that up.
No.
No, but so it was either one episode or
a
major role. So, yeah, I did know.
Okay. So let's get into, how she's feeling right now. This guy drops out of the sky.
How she's feeling, what, in between the seasons or
in between the seasons and as we get into the season opener.
Okay.
All right. So he kind of just comes out of nowhere. She's aware of his fame, I feel. And I think I read in another interview, on some level, Aslaug feels she's almost fated to meet this man and carry his child.
I think I'm not sure it's as conscious as that. Okay. I think that she believes that she's destined to be with a powerful, sort of famous, influential man. And when she meets Ragnar and there's an attraction between the two of them, I think that's sort of like she just feels a pull towards him, and before she knows it, they're in bed together.
It's and
contraception just wasn't a thing.
No.
So
it's like 768 AD, something like that.
I think it's a little bit later.
Later,
yeah.
But not by
I think
much.
It's like 790 something.
Right. So there's no protection. There's no contraception
because those 60 years there was
that really mattered. The field of contraception just exploded in those 60
After
years.
7:30.
Oh, you better believe it. Once sheepskin was discovered, it just blew up.
Yeah.
But the connection is like very immediate and very palpable. And what I love most, it's twofold. It's that Aslaug wants this for herself. She's specifically, she's not targeting him, but she knows that she's drawn to him. She knows that he's attracted to her too, and she wants a better life than this kind of lonely life with her shield maidens.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit on it. I think she's really lonely.
Yeah.
I think she's really lonely. You know, her parents died when she was really, really young, and I think that being an orphan of really famous parents, and there was a line of dialogue that I actually think may have gotten cut out of the premiere last night, but about Aslaug believing that her parents' fame was more important to them than she was, which is like kind of killer.
It's
like,
awful.
That sucks. That blows for a kid to grow up thinking that.
Yeah.
And I think she's never really had a connection with someone. I don't think that she's felt love from anyone. And because of that, she's a little bit untrusting of the people around her, but she desperately wants it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something in Ragnar that she sees and is, you know, attracted to. There's something really appealing about him. And then he goes back home to his wife and she's left knocked up. Right.
And it's like, well, can I really just go back to the way things were before? I mean, I've got this child, you know, isn't it my right to be able to, you know, present this child to this man and let him make the decision?
Well, there's definitely that. And I think we can't forget also the fact that she is a princess.
Yeah.
You know, her parents may no longer be around, but she is a princess. And I think that there is a certain amount of entitlement to her because of that. And I don't think that she's that pleased with the fact that, you know, she's a pregnant princess and,
right.
and the father's
married off somewhere,
taken off.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a certain amount of pride.
Oh,
there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the princess. I gave myself to you and you're just going to run away?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a scene right in the season finale last year where you wanted to go again or continue, and he was just like not having it at all. Supreme self-control. And you're not used to
Rejected.
She doesn't get rejected. She's a princess.
Yeah.
So she decides to come in and kind of... She's not intentionally blowing up the family unit.
No. She's not intentionally blowing up the family unit.
Yeah.
No. But she grew up without parents, and she doesn't want her son
to be without his father.
Especially if it's Ragnar Lothbrok. I mean, the guy's like the Mick Jagger of Vikings, right? So
the Mick Jagger of Vikings. It's true, though.
But that's, you know, if that's who the father is, you know, you want them to be with the father and grow up and become a warrior, you know.
And there's an interesting
be a powerful son.
There's an interesting parallel there too with Aslaug's parents having this fame that they felt was more important than she was. Growing up, hearing all these stories about them, she didn't want that for her son either, where he never knows the father and just hears all the legends of how he went west and conquered the world.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what really actually made me fall in love with Aslaug, is that whole sort of like, that's where I found real compassion for her. It was like, she doesn't want that to be repeated.
Yeah.
She's going to make damn sure that isn't repeated.
Yeah.
And if that means another woman leaving...
So be it. I mean, it's not really even about Lagertha.
No, it's not. It's actually, it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing really to do with Lagertha. And when she shows up, you know, she's heard of Lagertha. So she doesn't want to be threatening in any way because she doesn't know what Lagertha's like. All she's heard is that she's a shield maiden. So you got to watch out for that one.
Oh, absolutely.
You know. she's got to protect that unborn child.
Exactly.
So she's not trying to threaten Lagertha in any way, but at the same time I think she has a lot of pride. And it's interesting, I saw a review this morning of someone saying that Aslaug was happy to go along with the threesome, and it's like, nah, she said she was, but she wasn't really.
You could tell she was just
she was sort of sitting back and waiting and watching, and I think she realized that the whole thing was going to implode when she turned up with a pregnant belly, because you know what else is there to do at that point?
She picks her moments very carefully when she speaks up. There's a lot of moments that are seen but not said, I feel like.
That's exactly,
in that opener.
Yeah.
And she's playing a deeper political game than I
Yes.
think people may be giving her credit for.
Yeah, and she really didn't want to go in and piss Lagertha off. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can this is, again, free place here. We try not to drop F-bombs.
Okay.
But,
I think I can keep that under my hat.
Okay.
She doesn't want to piss her off, but I think she's kind of killing it with kindness at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
That was really fun to play, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, are we going to see... I know at the end of the episode, Lagertha's gone, Björn is gone.
Oh.
But...
I was on an emotional roller coaster when I first saw that episode.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh my God.
I know.
So much.
Yeah, and to be, partially responsible for it, not really. It's really more Ragnar's fault, right?
I mean...
He knocked her up. Then when she comes,
he
doesn't send her away.
I had no part of it whatsoever.
Right. It's his failure to act that causes all of this to happen. And I feel like, again, not lost on Aslaug.
Yeah.
I just have to be here. I know that he likes me. He senses a connection. He's not going to dismiss me or my child because he knows he needs these sons to be born.
Yeah. What happened to that, by the way? He's talking about the sons that he so desperately wants, and the seer has told him he's going to have these sons. So when I tell him that I'm knocked up, and he leaves. It's like, wait, hang on, I thought the sons are important.
Well, yeah, because...
What happened?
I mean, just an episode earlier, he was asking who will bear these sons for me. And now, all of a sudden, now that he's faced with it, I think part of it is maybe he thought, like, oh, come on, man, that was a rhetorical question. I wasn't expecting to get someone pregnant today.
Oops.
Jeez.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because we're seeing, like, I guess on a micro level, because it's this small Viking community, we're seeing how female roles develop and how masculinity develops and changes. Mm-hmm. We think of, protect the family, save the family. He desperately wants more of a family. He wants a legacy. He wants these sons. He's ambivalent about where they come from. Just that they exist.
You think?
I don't know. I think he would prefer that it was simpler, and he does love Lagertha. That's not in doubt.
No, that's not in doubt
That's
at all.
not in doubt at all. But, he's an earl. He's a chief. On some level, some rules maybe don't apply to him.
Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to talk to him about that.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what was it like on set filming these episodes with the cast? Where do you shoot all of this?
We shoot in Ireland.
Okay.
In County Wicklow at a place called Ashford Studios. We're the first production to be at Ashford Studios.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a brand new facility.
State of the art.
Oh, yeah. It's got Wi-Fi. It's amazing.
Dude, you check this out. We got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
What do you got? I'm on a huge boat, man.
It's really funny, actually, because in between scenes, one of the things that cracks me up is, we're all dressed in these period costumes and we're hanging out in these period costumes. Then all of a sudden you see someone walk by with like an iPad.
Yeah.
I was like, doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Where is he stowing that? In his armor? Jeez.
It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gotta be weird.
It's pretty funny to see.
So when were you shooting season 2? Like when were you there?
We filmed, we got there early June to sort of early November.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's about a 5-month shoot in all.
A 5-month shoot. And they're still writing the season as you're there, or was it all pre-written?
That's a good question. We don't get the scripts that far in advance.
Okay.
So, I know Michael Hurst, our amazing creator and showrunner, he definitely has storylines plotted and episodes, but along the way after we get them, there are still revisions that get made. So, there's a complicated color coding of pages that you have to swap in and out of your scripts, and it gets really...
God.
Yeah.
That's gotta be nuts.
Yeah.
How much of the show is shot on a green screen stage versus out on location? Because
very little is shot on
very little shot on green screen?
Very little, not a lot at all. I think there are a couple of scenes on the boats, like at nighttime going through storms and stuff. I think those are shot on a gimbal in front of a thing, and that's like just outside at the studios. But no, most of it is shot on location. All those battles, they're on location.
That's
that
absolutely
is happening on location.
incredible.
Yeah.
I thought that there was no way that all of this could be real. I'm like, how are they affording this? This is television.
It's pretty real.
Yeah.
It's pretty real. It's the locations are stunning. Mm-hmm. Firstly, they're insanely beautiful. I don't know if you've ever been to Ireland, but
I've not, no.
Places, the whole country is, I drove all over the place. I definitely win the prize for doing the most exploring out of the cast members, yeah.
But they've been there longer than you. They haven't been out exploring?
I don't know. Maybe they did that in season 1, but I
So
definitely got out and on the road this season.
That's awesome. What's the most amazing thing that you saw while you were out there?
Oh,
Is that an impossible question?
That's such an impossible question.
I'm a dick. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
You are.
I'm just putting you in the corners. What is this interview anyway?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. But the Ring of Kerry was beautiful.
What is that? Is that
what is that?
Yeah.
Well, County Kerry.
Okay.
There's a whole big loop that you drive around. Okay. And it's, I mean, you turn, like, every corner you turn, you're just like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And then you're like, how can you top that? And then you go around another corner, you're like, oh, okay, well.
Okay, that tops it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Gorgeous. There are some beaches there that look like Tahiti.
Nice.
I know. I couldn't.
Wait, how is that? They don't have the climate.
It looks like it. It doesn't feel like it. It looks like it.
Okay, that's a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. The thing that really cracks me up is that Irish people swim in their sea. That to me is in. I'm like, what, you go out and you swim in that? I'm from Australia. It's got to be warm for me to get in the water. And you've got people like in November. Our hair designer Dee Corcoran. She goes and swims at a place called the 40 Foot, which is... She goes on Christmas Day.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's like... Have you ever heard of the Polar Bear Club?
Yes, that's what... Yeah, she should be a part of the Polar Bear Club. I just think she's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like you people are insane.
Well, she needs to find somewhere to give her just the strength to make all these insane hairstyles. Ragnar's
she just won an award.
Really?
Yeah, she totally won an award.
She deserves it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, at the Makeup Artists and Hairstylists Guild Awards.
Okay.
I hope I got that right.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So before you came to Vikings, you've been doing this for a while. You got your start in modeling in Australia, correct? How long ago was that? Okay, that's fine. It's all right.
I was 15.
Okay, you were no, that's okay. You were 15. You were 15 when you started. What was the first job? What was the first thing that got you in?
The first job, paid job?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Oh my God.
I probably should. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Modeling was really great to me, but it wasn't ever something that I was really passionate about. It's, it was really great, and I moved to New York and I got to see the world and earn a fairly decent living doing it, but it's just not really my thing.
Right.
Which is why I sort of was always thinking that there was going to be something else for me.
So then how did you make the jump to acting from there? Was that always the plan, was to come to acting, or
it
did you find it
became
later?
the plan a few years into modeling. I managed to... There was an Australian film that was going to be shot and ended up falling through. And they came looking for some girls to read for it. And I did a screen test for that film. And it reminded me of how much I loved acting. I took drama in high school. And I was like, I forgot how much I kind of like this.
Yeah.
So, I just started taking classes.
Okay.
And yeah.
And then what was the first acting gig?
I had a line on The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
That ended up on the cutting room floor.
What the heck?
Yeah.
So you almost got introduced to American audiences.
I still make money from it though.
Was it a nice check for cutting room floor?
Over the years, it hasn't been bad, but I mean the little checks you get in between, you sort of
the residuals.
The residuals. The residuals. I still do make residuals from a line. I'm on the deleted scenes of the DVD.
Do you remember the line?
Yeah.
What's the line?
A girl turns to me in an elevator and says, "Oh my God, you look awesome. I can't wear crop pants." And I say, please. I almost called him fat today. Should have kept it in, right?
Should have kept it in.
Should have kept it in. I know. Yeah. I would have gone on to bigger and better things, like way quicker.
I know.
I kept it in.
We got to figure out how to what the equivalent of the Vikings equivalent of that line is, so that we can put it in there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, or at the very least, no, it'll be a meme picture with the pregnant belly, and sorry, that's actually really funny, and someone should totally do that. Yeah. You've got Lagertha with the crop top or the crop pants, and then you with the pregnant belly. Sorry,
belly.
I can't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. You should talk to Michael about that.
I'll talk to Michael about it. We'll get a whole.
You talk to him about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll stay out of it.
I'm gonna stay well out of that one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had this line got cut out.
I had this line. It got cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what were you doing in the meantime? You did a couple of episodes of television here and there. You had an episode of New Amsterdam.
Spots. Yeah, a couple of guest spots, a couple of independent films. And, you just sort of work your way up. That's how it works. You have to get a few things under your belt. You have to study and take classes and really learn. You can't just walk on and deliver a couple of lines and think that you can act. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, yeah. You got to figure out what is this character thinking, how are they feeling, finding the empathy, kind of.
Well, listen to you.
Well, I take classes. Yeah. I'm no stooge, okay?
You take acting classes?
I take acting classes.
Where do you take acting classes?
I take acting classes with a guy named Josh Labar.
Okay.
He used to teach with Leslie Kahn.
Okay.
He's been on everything television wise, but most people would remember him as Josh Weinstein from Entourage. If you ever saw that.
Oh,
show.
okay.
He was like that other agent that was trying to poach Vince away. Regardless,
got it.
Very good teacher.
Got it.
And been studying with him for a while. But yeah, that's why I know that you take it seriously because of how.
I have to say, this is the most interesting conversation about all the characters and everything that I think I've had so far, because you're
because I'm a nerd about it.
Yeah, you are. I like that though, because I'm kind of a nerd about it too.
Well, that's the thing, right? You can't judge someone if you're supposed to be them.
No, you really can't.
Yeah,
you really can't.
So
then you get really defensive about them because you've done all of this work and you've figured them out and you figure what makes them tick, and you have such compassion then for this person and what they've been through and what. Yeah. So then when someone kind of goes, "So you're a homewrecker," I go,
"Yeah, I'm not a homewrecker. My kid needs a better future, man. What do you know about my past? You an orphan? Come at me." Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, what was it? The upbringing that kind of brought you to that empathy for her, just that loneliness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, immediately when you say yes, that they're lonely, that's kind of a huge thing. I think everyone has empathy for feeling lonely.
Oh, absolutely. It's the one thing that no one ever wants to be.
Right. But I think everyone's probably felt it at points during their life as well.
Oh, totally. But then imagine nonstop loneliness. And the only people you know.
We're going to have everyone in tears.
I know. Let's make everyone cry as bad as it's raining outside.
I'm going to start playing the violin for Aslaug.
Let's start. We'll come up with a Viking ditty. It'll make sense. Okay.
Yeah, but she's special to me, That's how you really feel about a character that you've worked so hard on.
Yeah. Now, I know you can't tell me anything about the season to come, but, I mean, is there heartbreak ahead for Aslaug without being too specific?
There are some specific crises.
Okay.
That she has to deal with and go through. Yeah.
Okay, so the politicking doesn't stop. She's got to figure out. Yeah.
I don't think the politicking will ever stop on this show. I think we're all going to be politicking until it's
House of Cards. Let's just advance the Viking race until we find out that 2,000 years later, Frank Underwood is actually a former Viking.
Episode.
Yeah, I would watch the crap out of that. House of Vikings or Vikings of Cards. I would watch that too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the politicking's always going to be there, but she definitely goes through a couple things that they're big. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big things.
Big things.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Big things ahead.
Big things ahead.
Yeah.
What can you, just like going back over your experience on the show, do you have like a favorite memory or just like a really funny day that you can think of you want to talk about?
I think it's no real secret now that Aslaug is going to have some kids.
Yeah.
And I got to work with these two boys that just stole my heart.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
They're just little baby boys? Or...
No, they're both 6 years old.
Okay.
But looked fairly different in age. But they were both 6 years old. Cormac and Cahill.
Cormac and Cahill.
Cahill, yeah.
Cahill.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not great with names.
It's Irish.
All right.
Yeah. These two kids were just so much fun. They were brilliant to work with. And I would run around with them and play hide and seek when we were on location. And when we were back in the studios, we'd get into their dressing room and they'd turn all the lights off and we'd play monster games. I had to be a monster.
You had to be a monster?
I had to sit in a corner making monster noises while they ran around the room in the dark.
I don't even understand the rules of this game.
There were no rules. This is what happens when you're dealing with two 6-year-olds. There are no rules. I think they just wanted to run around in a dark room. And it was funny because one of their mothers had to sit there and make monster noises along with me. So yeah, it sounds really bizarre, but I had such a great time with them.
That's awesome. But I'm just like, now I'm obsessed with the psychology of these two kids of like...
They're so much fun, though.
Right, but they don't want to run from the monsters. They're not running to the monsters.
No, it's like they kind of wanted to be a little bit scared, but not really have to deal with the monster.
And just get some energy out.
Yeah, oh my goodness. The energy of those two kids was insane.
Incessant.
Insane, yeah.
But were they on their lines? Did they know their stuff?
They were very good. They were awesome to work with. In fact... Cormac, the kid that's a little bit older, he is such an intellectual. It's insane. And he'd be on set, especially the first couple of days that I worked with him. He'd sit there and ask me questions about everything and everyone. It was like having a little acting coach in my pocket, so it was kind of cheating a little bit. But I had this kid, and he'd ask me about all of the different props and what they were. What's that on the wall? Why is that thing on the wall? And I'd sit there and go, that is a... treasure that Daddy brought back from a raid from England.
From England,
But he really helped to kind of put me into the world of everything.
Absolutely, you had to learn it, or you would disappoint this kid.
Yeah, but it was such a cool thing because you see a kid when given a piece of information, they just accept it. And take it on. And us as adults, when we're acting, we're given a piece of information and we go,
So what is that about?
So. And then you start intellectualizing way too much instead of just kind of accepting it and going with it. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, the kids were awesome. I really fell in love with them. If we get another season, I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah. You just like struck off a nerve in my brain, and now I'm just thinking about like, why is it that we can't just accept things the way they are that we did when we were kids?
Oh God, we could be here for hours if we start going there.
I know, but I'm just like, is it that we were let down one too many times, or that just we've been lied to enough that we don't trust?
Oh, I think you're gonna have to spike my tea for me to start answering those questions.
I'm sorry, you got me on this introspective. It's raining outside.
It's really philosophical.
I know.
It's Friday, man. It's Friday afternoon.
Philosophical Fridays. They didn't tell you that's what this show was? We need to change these
I think I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, no. Do you want to go find your other interview?
Yeah, I'm not the person to answer these questions.
It's honestly a complete coincidence that I know anything about your show.
Yeah.
No. Cool.
Yeah. No, the kids were fabulous.
A blast.
Yeah.
So tell me about. Obviously, you work a lot with the star of the show, who plays Ragnar.
Yep.
How did that chemistry develop? Like, what is it like working with him when you first met him? When you're working with him this season?
Our first day on set together in the first season were like the sex scenes that we had to film
immediately.
And, pretty immediate. Yeah. Yeah, pretty immediate.
All right. Hey, nice to meet you, Alyssa. Now, get on top of him, please. We got to light you.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, oh my goodness, what, how? I'm not even going to have a real chance to sort of get to know this person. And then I thought, well, hang on a second. What if I don't like him? it's probably better to get in there and do it like
Yeah.
straight away. That sounded really awful. Travis is great. Travis is great. But I flipped it in my head and I thought, well, it's probably best to just get them done and out of the way.
Yeah.
But
But also, from a character perspective, she doesn't know him that well either. She's met him for like a matter of hours.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. It was really funny because we were in rehearsal for one of the scenes where I have to sort of come in and sit on top of him and
Right.
kind of go for it. And we had rehearsal for that. And, you know, when you're shooting a TV show, time is money. You're not like...
You can't
be
gingerly
wasting time.
rest yourself.
Not even. I mean, you just have to, like, you have to be prepared. You have to show up. You have to know where you're coming from and where you're going because there is no time to figure it out on set. That all has to be taken care of. You got to do your homework and you've got to show up because if you are still trying to figure it out on set...
you will get fired. They'll find someone else. Yeah.
Done. So, and it was my first day on set as well, you know, so I was trying to be really professional.
Mm-hmm.
I was really trying to... Okay, so we're in rehearsal for this shot, and I'm sort of like, okay, got to pick my way across this tent and then sort of get on and sit on top of this guy. And I got to the little bed that they'd made him, and there was something wrong with it, like... The covers were kind of heaped up and I was kind of trying to do what I had to do and I couldn't really, like, physically, there was just kind of obstacles in the way. I was sort of like, oh my God.
There was just this big lump of covers in your way?
And, and in my head I was like, be professional, you got to do... Turned out one of the other actors, Tig, who we talked about earlier, was hiding... under the covers, yeah.
Dick.
And he sort of, it was great. I was like, oh, they can't hate me if that's what they're doing to me, right? That's kind of funny. Yeah, he sort of popped out and was like, he's mine! And yeah, it was really funny.
That's a great introduction.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I'm even more bummed that he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all really bummed.
Yeah.
I'm still bummed.
Should have played a prank on him just for old time's sake before he passed on.
Oh, poor Tig.
Poor Tig. So were you? The show hadn't even started airing, so that's like
no, it hadn't.
Yeah, when you came on, but like even now, just like watching the early episodes when they came out in the first season before you were introduced, were you a fan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would totally watch it if I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not just the action or the intrigue. It's what you said. It's about these relationships. And I'm really bummed out at how badly the relationship between the brothers has fractured.
I know,
Rollo
right?
just can't get into his... I don't understand what's missing in his brain. He's like lacking a chemical. Like I want to give him like some Xanax or something.
Oh, poor Rollo. I have some sympathy for Rollo, like I do for Aslaug, you know, when you have to play a character that's a little bit controversial. It's sort of, you know, you spend a lot of time not just kind of talking about your character. You spend a lot of time defending them, and I'm sure Clive does that all of the time
in all
with
the
Rollo.
interviews.
Yeah. You know, I kind of get it. He's a badass warrior, and he wants his own. You know, people aren't really...
They don't care about him.
Validating him.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about Ragnar. So I kind of understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he decides to go up in physical battle against him, and that's kind of taking it
fearsome in that battle.
I know, right? That whole battle was... When I first saw it, I was like, whew.
I know.
Yeah.
I like needed to pat myself from sweat.
The battle scenes this season are on another whole level.
Yeah. Immediately the game had been raised. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to watch. The battles are just insane and so realistic to me. Mm-hmm. I love that part of the show. I think it's really exciting.
Yeah. Now, because it's on History Channel, did you guys have experts on set to make sure that things were accurate historically?
Yeah, we have a couple of historical experts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sort of pop in and out and are there.
They're just the flies on the wall. Just be like, hey man, you know, this shield that actually would be blue.
Well, they kind of got through all of that, I think, in the first season. Okay. Yeah.
In the conceptual.
Now
phase.
it's just sort of maintaining the history.
Now, you've shot the whole second season.
Mm-hmm.
What is your ideal journey for Aslaug second season and beyond? Like, where would you love to see her? If this show, God willing, gets to like season 6, like, is she standing on top of like the bones of fallen enemies, or is she raising her boys? Is she now married to Ragnar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Warrior queen.
Queen, not warrior. Aslaug
Okay.
doesn't want to fight.
Okay.
She has other people to do that for her. She doesn't want to get involved. Plus, Ragnar goes out and does that, and every time he goes out, there's a chance that he may not be able to come back. So if she's a part of that too, who's going to row to boys?
That's true. That's got to be the craziest thing about being married to someone like that in those times. Like, being married to any soldier.
Right? It's not like you can FaceTime and check in.
Exactly. There's no Skype in 790... ...
790.
Yeah.
They started the first season in 793.
Okay. They started the first
But
season.
there are, a couple time jumps along the way. So it's 793 plus a little bit, I guess.
So let's say 796, maybe.
But we're about to do a 4-year time jump now.
Okay, and that explains the
4-year time
older
jump comes.
boys.
Yeah, first... Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So the first episode of the second season sort of picks up from where the first season left off.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a 4-year time jump.
Fantastic.
Before episode 2. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do you want to know?
Let's talk about. I guess the last thing I really want to know is audition process. How did you get the role in the first place? Did you put yourself on tape, or was it out here?
How'd you get it in the first place?
What? Is that the wrong way to phrase it? What is the best way to phrase it?
No, it was funny.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So I, had heard about this show, and that it was this new... In fact, I had quite a few people tell me about this Viking show. Like, you should be reading for the new Viking show. And I ended up making a tape for them and having a Skype call with Michael and a director, and, sort of had a few other reads that I was called in for, and, just,
Just happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they gave me this role that's pretty awesome.
It's a great turn for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. I can't believe it. I mean, to get to work with the guy that did Elizabeth
is unbelievable.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I pinch myself every day. It's a dream come true. And, I also think at the point in my acting career that I was at before I got this, to be able to have this first sort of meaty role in something so great and respected is just...
And so something so utterly unique.
Yeah. Yeah. Really unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything like it on TV.
There isn't. We get fantasy, but we have yet to really have...
But it's not really fantasy,
It's not.
though.
It's a sincere period piece.
Right. And, I think... some of the things that the Vikings believed in could be turned into real fantasy, but I like the way that the show kind of keeps it, you sort of like, okay, well, this is what they believed in.
Yeah. No.
Was it true? Was it not true? But this is what they believed in. And I love that that's the stance that the show takes.
I absolutely agree. And what I love most about it is it's the way that it's presented. You could consider it magical realism, but they're not doing anything that didn't actually happen.
Right.
This is just what they believe, and you have the seer who is very convincing.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to, as a fan, you could be like, is he really communing with the gods? Which is exactly what the characters would be thinking.
Yeah.
But there's no proof, just as there wasn't then.
Exactly.
He's still the seer is still just a guy with horrible scars who everyone trusts because of his horrible scars to be in communion with the gods up above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aslaug may have a couple gifts of her own.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll see. We may see something like that coming.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited about that. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Vikings airs Thursday nights.
10 p.m.
10 p.m. on History Channel.
Yep.
Where can the people find you online? Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. At the real Alyssa S.
Okay, at the real Alyssa S.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an edition of Spotlight On here on AfterBuzz TV. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and, well, I imagine that you do, my name is Matt Lieberman. You can find me at Matt Lieberman on Twitter. That's MattLieberman. You can also find me here all over the place on AfterBuzz TV. I'm doing the Helix and Lost Girl shows on Sci-Fi, Banshee on Cinemax, Justified on FX, Cougar Town, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Almost Human. I got the new show Resurrection coming out on ABC, premiering Sunday, March 9th. Keep an eye out for that. Also, later this spring, I'm going to be doing Orphan Black on BBC America and Playing House on USA. I want to thank Alyssa once again for joining us. And for all of you at home, watching, downloading, streaming, what have you, you're the best. Have a good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
It's warm in here.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.